All right, joining me now from the Spin Room in Miami is the manager for the Sanders campaign, Jeff Weaver. Jeff, I want to talk about the McCain-Kennedy bill, which got litigated again. It's been litigated a number of times, and
sure.
Here's my question. Senator Sanders basically says, look, the guest worker provisions were sort of breaking point for me. I couldn't vote for the bill. But of course, the senator in his career, both in the House and the Senate, has voted for bills that he thinks contain bad stuff. A great example of that is the 94 crime bill, which he said I had tons of reservations about. I went to the floor and I talked about those reservations. But on the whole, net, I voted for the thing even with some bad stuff. I mean, in hindsight, was that vote on 2007 McCain-Kennedy, net, the totality of that bill, was that the right vote?
Yes, Chris, it was the right vote. Look, the guest worker provisions of that Bush administration-backed bill, and, Ted Kennedy and John McCain, are honorable people who tried to do the best bill they could. But look, they were negotiating with the Bush administration, and the Bush administration had no love, frankly, for undocumented workers in this country or migrant workers. That bill, the core of that bill, the centrality of that bill was this guest worker program called by the Southern Poverty Law Center akin to slavery. Many large Latinos, including the largest Latino organization in this country, opposed it, as did many other smaller Latino organizations. We cannot perpetuate a system where migrants are abused economically, physically, and sexually. And if the Secretary wants to support that kind of bill, she can go right ahead. We're going to stand with migrant workers and make sure they have the rights they need.
Okay.
And I'll show you what demonstrates that.
Jeff.
But look, yeah.
Well, let me just say, I mean, I'm not contesting you substantively on the guest worker provisions, but I mean, there were people on the other side of that. I mean, as Hillary Clinton says, right? I mean, I guess here's my question to you. You go back, if Bernie Sanders' vote was the deciding vote, you still think those worker provisions were so bad it was worth scotching all of comprehensive immigration reform over them?
It was the core of the bill, Chris. You have to understand this was a Bush administration-backed bill. This was not the 2013 bill. The 2013 bill also had some guest worker provisions in it, but much strengthened in terms of protections of workers. Look, you cannot support a bill where people are being sexually assaulted, and when they try to protect themselves, they're thrown out of the country. What kind of message does that send? Look, Senator Sanders has stood with undocumented workers in this country. He was in Immokalee, Florida, down in 2008, protecting people far from Vermont who, with no connection to him. He was not running for president. This is what, when you look at what people do when nobody's looking, that's the kind of people you know they are. And when nobody was looking, Bernie Sanders was helping undocumented workers who were being terribly exploited in Florida. And in some cases, actually, the government has brought, talk about slavery, had actually brought slavery charges against some of the folks down there. So that's what Bernie Sanders has been about, protecting vulnerable people in this country, whether it's migrant workers or anybody else.
Does Senator Sanders believe, as he told Lou Dobbs in that interview that was raised tonight and replayed, does he believe, and there was never really an answer to this, does he believe that kind of immigration unfettered at the lowest level of the labor pyramid does drive down wages? Is that a belief of his?
No, what he said is that bringing in workers into the guest worker program. This is the same guest worker program that we're talking about in relation to the 2007 bill. When you have workers, frankly, whether they were migrant workers or people who are American citizens, who are in the labor force, who don't have rights, who can't stand up against abuses, whether they're economic, physical, or sexual, that drives down wages for everybody. So it's not that there are people coming into this country, but there are people coming into this country in abusive relationships where corporations can exploit them viciously, and they have no right to speak up.
All right, let me ask you this question. You guys had a good night last night. I mean, I think everyone was surprised by Michigan at overcoming 21-point polling average. But at the end of the night, you're still down delegates. And the way that this works, and you know them better than anyone, and the whole campaign there, I'm sure, there's a huge whiteboard that's got nothing but this on it, which is that proportional delegates make it harder and harder as time goes on for you to catch up. It is the case that you need big wins somewhere, right?
Yeah, and look, we've demonstrated that Senator Sanders can achieve big wins. When we started this race, we knew that Secretary Clinton was going to be very strong in the South. She was First Lady of Arkansas for over a decade. She has strong political ties throughout the South, right? And so we knew she was going to do well in the South. That was sort of a given in this race. But what we have seen outside of the South is that Bernie Sanders consistently wins. Now, Michigan was obviously very close, but otherwise consistently wins with double-digit victories. New Hampshire, 22 points. Maine, over 30 points. Kansas, over 30 points. And there are a lot more states states in the calendar to come that look like the states he's winning by big margins than the states that look like she does in the South.
All right.
I mean, the South is, there's only 2 more states in the South.
Manager for the Sanders campaign, Jeff Weaver, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to be digging into what was a fascinating debate in many respects. We've got some great people here to discuss it. There was fracking talked about, climate change got a turn front center, and a lot more on immigration as well. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Hi everyone, my name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so tonight's debate between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders is now live. It's available on Alternate Mox News YouTube page. There is a clickable link in the text body of this video. So right below the video here, you'll find a link that says tonight's foreign language Democratic debate. Please, if you'd like to watch it, it was a pretty spirited debate. I think Hillary Clinton was getting kind of flustered there for a little bit. So if you want to check that out, the entire debate is posted on Alternate Mox News YouTube page. There's a clickable link right below this video. Click it, it'll take you straight to that page where Univision has already made a copyright claim, but they didn't block the video and they didn't make it a copyright violation, which means it looks like this debate is going to stick too. If there's no problems with it in the morning, I'll upload it to another page, to the one where the other presidential debates are. But for now, tonight, if you'd like to watch the debate between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders in Miami on the foreign language speaking channel, it's available, and there's a clickable link right below this video. In the text body of the video, it says tonight's foreign language debate, Democratic debate, or Democrats debate, I think it says. So go check it out. I think you might enjoy it. I'm going to post a couple more videos with follow-ups. There's some pretty good. I got one with Alan Grayson coming up, and the guy who made Gaslands movie documentary. He's talking about fracking. And one with the sexiest congresswoman in Congress. She's a Bernie Sanders supporter. So if you are enjoying Mox News work, my hard work, and you'd like to say thank you or show some support of some kind, it's easy to do. There's also a clickable link in the text body of the video to make a contribution to Mox News. It would be wonderful if you would buy me lunch. I really, really like lunch, and when you guys take a couple minutes out of your busy day to make sure that I get a nice lunch, it makes my day so much brighter. It makes it so much brighter. So thank you for that support. It's because of you guys that Mox News, or that I've been here on YouTube for 10 years posting videos, over 60,000 videos now. And it's you guys that give it value. It's you guys that make it worthwhile. If it wasn't for you guys, if you weren't out here, the work would be completely meaningless. So I just have to thank you all. And one of these days, this war is going to end. Stay cool till that day.